Rob Scott is the Chief Executive Officer at TellyTrack, the online horse racing channel, and looking today at the brand's digital strategy going forward. A very warm welcome to you, and thanks for joining us. And the sport itself, or the space that you're operating in, to what extent that has been affected by online, mobile and digital, this fast-growing environment? I would imagine fairly radically.
Yeah, it has been. You know, there's a lot of movement onto cellular betting in particular, and that's why for the African market it's so strong. Worldwide there's been a move where up to 50% of betting is taking place now on the mobile platforms. So we can't see a reason why in South Africa that would be any different.
How have you then had to adapt your strategy to cater for this new demand?
Well, really some of it is about investment. Some of it is about pulling things together, because you find different divisions doing different things within the organization, and really trying to pull it all together to create one strategy and one methodology in terms of how we communicate.
Has the demographic changed with as far as people engaging with the sport?
Well, not yet. I think at this stage it's more your traditional horse racing guys that are on it, which is an older market. But certainly going forward with games like numbers and that type of thing, we see the demographic changing quite
So how do you
radically.
market to that new demographic then? Because while that old audience is important to you, they're not going to be there forever, are they?
Correct.
Yeah.
So you've really got to change the way that you present your product. The youngsters today are, number one, very busy, so you've got to take it to them. Number two, I won't say they're lazy, but they're certainly not looking for information. So if you don't make your bet type
They
easy,
are time pressed. That's
pressed.
the phrase you're looking for, Rob Scott, yes?
So we've got to make it an easy bet for them to take. 'Cause
So how do you do that?
we've so by having preset bets available for people, by giving them information about people that are betting and making money, and allowing them to then follow those bet types. And then also simplifying it. You know, 95% of betting takes place on one-arm bandits. And that's really about just pulling a lever and waiting for a result. So we are looking at different ways where random numbers can be generated through racing or through soccer or other sports as it comes.
I'm glad you mentioned one-arm bandits, because you're also in an increasingly competitive set in this respect. I mean, effectively you are competing against the casinos. How do you differentiate then the brand proposition?
Well, look, it's really about the type of offer that you create, and I think from a digital strategy, if you don't create online environments where people feel comfortable and little communities, you're going to struggle to keep people on your product. So you've got to be able to do that for various sports types. So there are people that love cricket. They're not going to necessarily gamble on horse racing, but they'll have a go on a cricket match.
So how do you seed and create those communities then?
Through information, and that's why a lot of that sits in the media piece of TellyTrack, because we own the information, and you can get a lot of information. It's just about how you pull it together, and then sending it in a relevant way to people, because nobody wants to be getting stuff that is not interesting them anymore.
Have you given up then on people going to the track?
Not at all. I think there are opportunities from an entertainment point of view for people to go, but I think one has to realize that you know, in the old days you could only back horses at the course. Then we started the tote environment, so that took people away.
All those years ago?
Those years ago. And today I think we've hit the next frontier, which is really the digital space, where you want to bet when you can, wherever you are, wherever you want. And so yes, we'll get people there for the events like the Met and the Summer Cup, but I think one has to cater for your customers' needs, otherwise they disappear.
But it is about creating that experiential dynamic, which is quite important.
Correct.
Otherwise, it's a fast diminishing audience.
Correct.
So very quickly, the future then, where do you see this going in the next couple of years, as digital starts to encroach even more onto the sport?
I think what's going to happen is it's going to become a lot more interactive. People will be able to look at a horse on screen, click on it, and take a bet directly from there without having to study a million things. And they'd be able to interact with one another through social media. where you and I could have a bet on whether your horse beats my horse, not
Yeah.
so much about who wins the race, which creates a lot more fun in terms of punter experience.
It's back to those communities that you were talking about.
Correct.
You better have a good-looking horse if you're going to click on that picture, otherwise you don't have a chance. Rob Scott from TellyTrack, thank you very much.
Thank you.